watching the Color 8 News at 10.
A very good Friday evening to you. I'm Stella Daskalakis. Greg Lamont has the night off. The Rock Creek Fire is at 900 acres tonight with 20% containment along the north side. 120 people are still fighting the blaze, and Governor Steve Bullock made a stop to learn about the fire and see what firefighters need. Color 8's Katie Chen has the story.
With many fires in the region, resources are tight.
And it's heartening to know that everybody's been working together real well, but also to find out what more might be needed.
Governor Bullock took an aerial tour of the fire after being briefed on the fire's status. Fighting the Rock Creek Fire is now priority number 2, not just for Montana, but for the nation.
It's good to get a on the ground or above the air perspective of sort of where the fire is, how close it is to the homes. These are expensive, these are challenging, but I don't want these folks thinking about the expense or the challenge. I want them to make sure that they can do their job, and want to do everything I can to facilitate that.
The fire team ordered more resources, which include 4 hotshot crews.
Those are the elite hotshot firefighters who have the most experience with these high-level complex fires. They will help by adding additional really experienced crews. As of now, the west side of the fire is active, and we have had little control or little work able to be done on that side. So the additional crews will help in some of these areas.
What started the fire is still under investigation, but officials believe it was human-caused.
That was Color 8's Katie Chen. More than 100 structures currently are threatened by the Rock Creek Fire. Officials have placed homes along Highway 212 on Stage 1 alert, which means homeowners have to be ready to get out if an evacuation order is issued. But right now, Highway 212 is open to all traffic. A speed limit of 35 miles per hour is in effect through the fire area. A fire near Shepherd sends many people scrambling out of their homes today. We have not yet received word about what sparked the fire. We do know residents were either told to get out or douse the perimeter of their homes with water. No homes were burnt in the blaze near Pleasant Hollow Trail. Crews from the Montana Department of Natural Resources Council, Lockwood, Shepherd, Warden, and Billings fire departments battled the fire. Shepherd resident William Spalding describes the fire in his own words.
Panic, adrenaline. I was really scared for those people, so I did the most I can to help, and I hope that was enough.
Spalding says he lives close to where the fire ignited today. He says he was surprised to see how quickly people responded to get the fire contained. Roads in the area were reopened after brief closures this afternoon. You can add Montana's Park County to the list of areas with burn bans. Commissioners say due to little rain and high temperatures this summer, it's made conditions favorable for wildfires. It's a complete burn ban except for campfires in established steel grates. People can only smoke in their vehicles or developed areas with no flammable materials. Park County 911 is asking people to sign up for emergency notifications to cell phones at parkcounty.org. With the Rock Creek Fire and other fires around the state, the insurance commissioner wants you to adopt the Boy Scout motto, always be prepared. If you lose property to a wildfire, first call your insurance company and find out exactly what you have to do. Make sure you follow the steps so it doesn't slow down your claim. Also, take pictures of the damage before things are cleaned up or repaired. You should have a visual record of the actual damage and save all receipts, even for temporary repairs. If you put up a tarp or canvas for protection, save the receipt for that purchase too. And if you have not yet been evacuated but could be, it's a good idea to do a home inventory, listing your valuables and taking pictures if you can store those photos in another location or safely online. This step will speed up any claims. If you have any questions, you can always call the Insurance Commissioner's office at 1-800-332-6148. A Yellowstone County man sentenced to life in prison this past January was found dead in his cell today. A spokesperson for the Montana State Prison says Cleveland Boyer's death was unexpected and an autopsy will be conducted. Cleveland shot and killed Denny Valenzuela in the parking lot of a convenience store in 2010. If you're looking for help with your personal safety, Stillwater Tactical is hosting 2 gun classes for women this Sunday. Color's Katie Owen has the story.
Guns, bullets, and safety is what 2 family members will teach this weekend. Bentley and Alex Roth own Stillwater Tactical. They feel like women need to be more knowledgeable about handguns.
Our training philosophy is to teach them things that they can take away with them and go out and practice and develop muscle memory.
They will hold a class this Sunday morning just for women, and they even put me to the test. And surprisingly, I passed. With the Billings rapist still on the loose, Bentley explains why it's important for women to protect themselves.
People don't feel safe, and there's a lot of criminal activity going on in the whole area, and I think women in particular feel threatened, and they want to know ways that they can better protect themselves.
In Molt, Katie Owen, Color 8 News.
The gun safety class is free, but the cost for the second class is $150 per person. A rifle class is on Saturday at 8:30 a.m. and the other class is on Sunday at the same time. The range is a mile long and is for hunters who want to work on their skills. They have limited spaces available, and if you want to sign up, go to color8.com and click on Connections. Canine officers with the Billings Police Department are working towards a big goal. They still need to raise thousands of dollars to pay for 2 new canines and training for the officers who will work with them. Dozens of people gathered in the parking lot of the Rex tonight for a canine fundraiser. Officers put on demonstrations with the police dogs and stressed the importance of having them on the force. 2 officers will be heading to Big Sky in September for 6 weeks of training with their canine companions. Police say the dogs can sniff out drugs and trouble immediately, and they often keep the officers from resorting to more forceful tactics.
It's a massive officer safety asset to the department because we can send in a dog and the dog can do its job rather than 8 of us doing what the dog can do.
Before tonight's event, officers had raised $5,000. They still need to raise about another $25,000. Still to come on the Color 8 News at 10, hot rod truck racers from across the country prepare to live a quarter mile at a time this weekend, all for a great cause. The Big Sky Truck Fest starts tomorrow morning at the Yellowstone Drag Strip in Acton. We'll tell you all about it. The town of Acton is roaring to life as hot rod trucks from across the country prepare to compete in the Big Sky Truck Fest at the Yellowstone Drag Strip. $10,000 worth of prizes are up for grabs for racers tomorrow who could go as fast as 180 miles an hour down the quarter-mile drag strip. Organizers held a kickoff party outside of the Holiday Inn Grand, Montana. Earlier tonight, some racers drove thousands of miles to get a piece of the action.
Right now we've got the national record holder in our Pro Street category, drove all the way from Baltimore, Maryland. This truck goes 740 and 180 miles an hour. So drag racers out there, if you've never seen a diesel truck go 180 miles an hour, it's going to happen at Yellowstone Drag Strip tomorrow.
Gates at the drag strip will open for spectators at 9 tomorrow morning, and races begin at 10 for this family-friendly event. Tickets are $25 for adults and $10 for kids, ages 6 to 12. All proceeds from raffle tickets sold at the race will go to the local Make-A-Wish Foundation chapter. The Montana National Guard recently trained on new tanks and other equipment. For some of the soldiers, the experience is a first. Color 8's Rob Jesselson has more.
Soldiers from the 163rd Combined Arms Battalion of the Montana National Guard are in Boise, Idaho for their annual training. This year, the 163rd is being trained on how to properly use new tanks. For some soldiers, like Private Samuel Wingeter, this is the first time he has been to training like this.
It's going pretty well. Me as a medic, we kind of have a pretty easy time. When we're not doing anything, that's probably a good thing because we don't want anybody to get hurt. So when we don't have a job as a medic, it's a good thing, but I'm having a lot of fun.
The 163rd has been training with new Abram tanks, becoming qualified to use the weapons when it's time for battle.
Shoot's clear! Sergeant, on the way. Shot!
For some soldiers, this is the first time they've attended annual tank training with the 163rd, and for others, they've been doing this for more than 20 years. First Sergeant Mike Bailey is serving for his 23rd year. He's been to Iraq on 2 separate deployments, and he says training the new soldiers can still be just as hard.
It's actually tough because if you've already done it for 23 years, a lot of it you think that, well, you guys should already know how to do it. So a lot of the older guys, you have to re-explain to them that I know you guys have done this 100 times, but the guy to your left hasn't, so you got to teach him how to do it.
Bailey's time in the Guard has even been rough at times for his family.
I think the family has a harder time than the deploying soldier, just for the fact that we know what we're doing, we know if we're safe or not. They just see what the news puts out or what we tell them.
In Boise, Idaho, Rob Jesselson, Color 8 News.
Soldiers of all ages and experience returned home to Montana after training in Boise on August 19th. Today marked the final day of military service for one German Shepherd in North Carolina. Charlie is a military working dog with Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. He has deployed 7 times to Afghanistan. He earned his Purple Heart while sniffing out explosives there when an improvised explosive device went off. He has since healed and returned to service, but after a decade, he is retiring with honors and being adopted by his first handler, the one with him when that IED went off in 2011. Staff Sergeant Benjamin Seakel says while the dogs work with a purpose, they also work their way into your heart.
Look for narcotics, look for explosives, and on paper that's where it really ends. But between us as handlers, we love these dogs, often as if they're our own children.
Charlie will go through some basic domestic training at the base until he's ready to relax into his new forever home with the staff sergeant. Oh, what a sweet story.
You can't help it.
Can you top that tonight in sports?
Absolutely not.
Sweet like that?
Although sweet to me is I'll have football highlights in today's sportscast because the college football season has officially begun, and it begun in Miles City of all places. Rocky Mountain College taking on Jamestown, literally the first game in the nation. We'll have highlights coming up in sports.